You know who made it.
Live from LinkedIn, it's Reveting's Whiskey Wednesday.
What's up, everybody? What's up, everybody?
Hey. What's up, Eddie?
I'm having a lot of fun. This is by far, one of the ones I'm most excited about. So, Jesse.
Eddie, I'm so excited it's Wednesday, and it's made extra special this week thanks to our sponsors.
Yes.
Sales Consulting, Olark, and ClickUp. Thank you all so very much.
Absolutely. So why don't we jump into that? Why don't I talk about a little bit concerning our sponsors, and then we'll get into our PSA. So we have 3 sponsors tonight. The first one is Sam Sales. Before I get into that, I do want to talk about closer towards the end of the show. Sam Sales is doing a charity, and we're going to name some of those charities inside a banner we're going to put on the bottom of the screen shortly. But anything you can think of when you think about consulting in the sales realm, think Sam Sales. Anytime you think about chatbots, automation in chatbots, I want you to visit olark.com. Our premiere for this evening is ClickUp. So as you can see, I'm a big supporter. If you know anything about me, you've seen me post about ClickUp multiple times. Super easy elevator pitch. You know, when you go on your computer in the morning, you got tons of different tabs open for docs. You got your tasks, you got your emails. Think about all of that in one spot. If you haven't heard it before in my post, you're going to hear it again tonight. I live by this. Me and Jesse adopted it for Reveting. I've adopted it in the past for EB3, and I'm never going to stop using it. And luckily tonight, we actually have one of the co-founders with us, Chris Cunningham. So before we get into the guests, PSA, as you all know, if you haven't been here before, we do this every single show. Yes, we do have whiskey in the name, but we do not condone either promote the use of alcohol on any level, as you saw in our disclaimer. If you do choose to drink alcohol this evening, please do so responsibly and do not drink and drive. You can choose to drink anything it is that you like. It can be milk, water, juice. Again, if it is alcohol, please do so safely. Jesse, why don't we bring them in?
Absolutely. Let's do it. Thank you so much for that, by the way, Eddie. We always need that PSA. It's so important. But without further ado, let's get the drum roll. Welcome to Kevin, Katie, Dorsey. We got Venetz. Here we go. There they are, being here. Awesome. All right. Well,
how about we say some hi?
We typically do a 30-second intro. We ask you all to give us a 30-second intro of yourself. You know how it is. The 30-second pitch is really hard. So we ask you to really keep it short, and we make it a competition. So who wants to go first?
I feel like I already know who's going first.
Let's go, y'all. Jumping in. Yo, what up, y'all? Kevin Dorsey, a.k.a. KD, a.k.a. the father of modern sales leadership, a.k.a. your thought leader's favorite thought leader. Really, really excited to be here, y'all. Been building startup sales teams for the last 10 years. Got a couple unicorns under the belt. So happy to see so many names and faces, and at the end of the day, it's all about the person in salesperson. And I'm really excited to be here to talk about it. So appreciate y'all having me.
Thank you so much for being here, Katie. Leslie, how about a 30-second intro?
I mean, I just feel like I'll take everything that Kevin said and then just apply. No, I'm just kidding. Founder, full-time founder. As of this year, left corporate in January. Super excited to work with folks to build inclusive sales teams, just to help sales become the respected profession it deserves to be. I love everything B2B sales, all over TikTok and LinkedIn talking about it. Here tonight, up past my bedtime talking about it. I love it.
Awesome. Yes, me
Chris?
too. I was on TikTok dancing today. Chris?
Love it. Oh, what's up? Chris Cunningham, founding member of ClickUp. We started this about 6 years ago. I was our first sales rep, our first customer service rep. So it's been a fun ride to kind of grow. And now I'm focused more on marketing, branding, planning commercials, working with influencers. So yeah, here I am. No AKAs here, but I'm ready to go.
So I do want to clarify something for anybody that is watching with us this evening. This is not a webinar. We've had many people tell us about this. We don't look at it as a podcast either, although we are, of course, going to have the recorded sessions online eventually. We look at Whiskey more of an event. I mean, it is technically an event on LinkedIn, and that's how we view ourselves. So for anybody who is doubtful or anybody who has called us anything otherwise, please know that we would like this to be an event. So let's have some fun. Why don't we, before we jump into the first topic, go into the first prize. So if you didn't see the post today, this one's huge. This one is definitely huge. So what do you think, Jesse? Should we just go ahead and show them that graphic? I'm a little bit stoked. I ain't gonna lie. This is massive.
Oh, we're going to go with the graphic first. Well, I got the banner here.
We want to show them first. So why don't we go ahead and show them exactly what they're going to be getting. And then I'll go ahead and explain, and then we'll jump into the first topic while everybody's going to be entering for the prize itself. So, I got to take down that banner. There we go. So if you did not see my post today, we have almost like a four-tiered portion of the package. The first one is going to be a 60-minute interactive coaching session. Oh, I can actually do it here. A 60-minute interactive coaching session with Leslie herself from Sales Team Builder. The second is going to be a 1-hour cold calling session with Tom Slocum from DSD Labs. I'm sure you have all seen Tom on our show at least once or twice. He's the cold calling king as far as what I call him. Thirdly, we're going to have the prize. Let me see if I can get this right here. It's going to be a 6-month free trial for Pro with Lavender and a 30-minute coaching session with Will Allred on Anything Email. And last but not least, we have our boy, which is with us very fortunately this evening, Kevin Katie Dorsey. You get 30 minutes of a coaching session with Winning by Design. So to do that and actually win the prize, you do have to enter, and you have to mention actually at Winning by Design in the comments. Simply enough, once you start typing at and go into the mention, you should see Winning by Design. Go ahead and enter that in there. We'll jump into the first topic and have some fun. Jesse, why don't you lead us off?
All right. Sounds good. So yeah, I'm not seeing it in the comments yet. So if everybody wants to make sure they're putting @ Winning by Design and tagging them, that's how you enter to win this first prize. So
we have a lag. So
am I lagging?
No. It's us. We lag actually as we go. So we're only going to see a little.
That's true. So let's hop into it. B2B influencer marketing, and kicking us off on this topic is none other than Chris Cunningham himself. Hey, Chris, thanks for being here.
Yeah, of course. I'm so excited to talk about this topic because I feel like no one really talks about it. I think that obviously influencer marketing is a big thing here, but most people think of influencer marketing, they think of someone holding a product. Hi, you should try my product. And good luck trying that in this world. It's never going to work. People are way too smart in tech. It's never going to work. So as ClickUp was growing, I've loved influencer marketing. It's what I did when I was younger. I always thought it was cool. I've always wanted to be my own influencer. I think it's dope. So what I've learned is, and why I think I know so many people. Oh, my lights are going out here. Why I think I know so many people on this call is because I speak to everyone on LinkedIn. I speak to all the influencers. I just want to be in the mix. I want to know every thought leader there is. But I think there's a different strategy for every platform, right? I think every single person. That's a good. I do feel like it. There's Randall Cunningham, but I am far from an NFL player. I wish I was that cool. So what I learned with ClickUp is early on, we were having a hard time getting leads. I mean, it was just 8 of us working in the early days. And I was having a hard time getting any attention. So what we did was we kind of built our own influencer. We made up this guy named Patrick Rockwell. Patrick Rockwell was all over Reddit. He was all over Quora, and we made him like this productivity expert. It was really myself, Zeb, our CEO, Wes, our COO at the time. We were all kind of just running this person, and we made him pretty famous in like the like project management space. So people would even bring him in like, oh, I wonder what, Patrick Rockwell would think about this. So we learned kind of early on that, influencer marketing could work for this if, it was kind of better when we had money and we could pay real people rather than fake our own profile. So as it grew, like we knew it was time to get on bigger stages and just get eyeballs from it. So my goals every quarter are to get more traffic, more leads, more signups from these different platforms, right? So like LinkedIn, I might reach out to a Tom, which was awesome. Like, I ran into Tom at SaaStr and I can film a video with Tom and I can do something like that. But let's say I'm doing a regular post. Like no one's going to care if Tom just says, hey, ClickUp is really cool. It's helped me out. It's changed my life. People are kind of immune to that and they scroll. But if I go to Tom and I'm like, hey, Tom, I know that you give a lot of sales, trainings out. I know that you are the master of cold calling. What if you do what you already do and you say, hey, I'm feeling generous today. So I want to pay Tom to basically give his value out because I know what his value is worth. So I'll go to Tom and I'll say, hey, Tom, I'm going to pay you to basically give out some leads or some strategies or some tools, whatever that you usually would not do, but share it and just share it in a ClickUp doc. So that way Tom can just be like, hey, look, if you're looking for the top resources, just come here. He's not saying anything about ClickUp. He's not hurting his brand. He's not hurting his reach. It's just been pretty masterful for us. So if anyone's on the call that has a nice reach or even a medium reach, I don't care. I want to talk to you. Hit me up at chris@clickup.com. The LinkedIn DMs get a little crazy. I'm having a hard time managing them. But hit me up because that's what I want to do, and it works really well, and it doesn't hurt you. I want to pay you to do what you do best because your followers are already getting value from you every day. They don't want you to like oversell. And for those influencers who use me, it's great. Like Brooklyn Nash is a big one who uses us and even talked about his big transition over from Asana to ClickUp, and he kept it viral out there. So that worked really well. But that's LinkedIn. LinkedIn has always been one of my more fun ones. I'm still learning. I want to get better at it, but I'm having a lot of success in letting people be them. And I'm not seeing the questions. So if any questions come up that need to ask, let me know.
There is definitely going to be questions. So for anyone who does not know, the package that I just mentioned earlier has a $3,000 tag on it. So I saw a bunch of people enter it in. Some people have had difficulties because they're not seeing the mention. Even if you don't see the mention, it can still register if you go with winning by design, but it does prefer the mention. So keep plugging that in. It's a huge, this is huge value. To give you an incentive on it, you get your email work, your cold calling work. You can get fundamentals and advanced with Leslie. You can also get very advanced with KD. So, you got the entire spectrum covered when it comes to sales. You can literally come into this and get out of it, potentially a master in sales. Just saying. I wish I could win it. I'm a host. I can't.
Chris, way to undersell and over-deliver there.
I try.
Yeah. There is a question, though, that I think, goes into a little bit of what Chris was talking about. So is B2B influencer marketing close to content/thought leadership? And then how are they different?
It's a great question. I'm still figuring it out. Like I don't even call people influencers anymore because to me, especially on LinkedIn, they're thought leaders, right? So I think it does come together. So marketing is obviously a big point, but marketing is so many things. Whereas thought leadership is someone, like KD, who just everyone knows to go to him for sales, right? It's well known. That's a thought leader. Like that is literally someone who's changing the game. He might even change, like something he posts is not just regurgitating information. A thought leader is taking things from their brain, their thoughts, and they're putting it out there and so many people are learning from it. That's a thought leader to me. And that's the only, the main influencers I want are what I consider thought leaders. Because think about it, at the end of the day, if all these people who are at work, who are trying to get better at their job, they're looking to learn from people like KD. They're looking to learn from whatever department they're in. They're looking for those thought leaders. So it's so perfect for me to come in and have them talk about us in some way because they're already learning from them. So if I'm learning from someone, they tell me, hey, I use ClickUp, or they just show me they use ClickUp. It's even better if they don't say it. It's even better if KD's like, hey, check out my trainings. It's in this doc. And then you pull up a ClickUp doc and you're like, well, damn, if KD is using ClickUp, I should probably at least check it out because he's a thought leader. He does things ahead. He's ahead of the curve. So that's what I'm looking for. And I think that's a big difference because marketing, a lot of people just think content, which content's great, but having a thought leader who's actually telling you things, giving you value, that's the real key. Like I want people to think of ClickUp as giving value out to people and just saving them time.
That's great. KD, you got called out in the comments. People want to hear from you on this.
Who's calling me out and why?
They said, Dale. Dale said, ask KD Dorsey this question.
Dale, I just wanted
to. You're drinking that whiskey.
I just wanted to drink whiskey and show up. So, Chris really nailed it at the end. If you think about B2B influencer marketing, the biggest difference between this and B2C is in B2B, for it to work, they have to be a user. So in B2C, someone wants to write me a $50K check to hold up Glenn Morangi. Hey, I'll take that check. Whatever. It doesn't matter. You probably even know that I don't even like it. It's fine. Whereas in B2B, no influencer is going to be willing to put their reputation on the line for a product they don't believe in. And so what I love about what Chris is talking about, but I want to make sure people are hearing, is if you are going to ask influencers to promote you, they need to be a user of your product, because that's what actually matters, is that I can speak to how I use it. Here's how I use ClickUp. Here's me using ClickUp. Here's where I host my things. Because I get hit up every single week with people asking me to promote their product. And I say no 99% of the time because I don't use it. And I am not willing to risk my reputation as a thought leader, as someone that some people respect. Not a lot of people, but some people respect me. I'm not willing to risk that for a product I don't believe in. So that's the difference. If you are trying to do influencer marketing, you need to make sure that your influencer, your thought leader, actually uses the product. That's the ticket.
I was just saying something similar to Jesse, funny enough, actually, that I had a conversation, not on your level, Katie, but I had a conversation with somebody last week about a product, because my momentum has been driven towards more advisorship and even, like we're saying, some of the influencer marketing stuff. But somebody approached me to be an advisor in one of their SaaS companies. But the problem is I wouldn't use the product. It's just not within my realm. And when I said no, they didn't take offense to it or anything. It's just that I told them, I was very honest and upfront. I said, this is not something I see myself using. And the ones that I already do it with are companies I believe in and I already use. Like, I truly believe in something like Fathom. I do believe in Falcon. I believe in ClickUp and any other ones that I use. And me and Jesse use in Reveting or EV3. But I can only preach it, like you said, because as I'm using it, I understand how it works. So I can go very granular in the data. So if somebody says, how are you using it for this specific thing? If I can't answer it and I don't know enough of it, I can still drive it towards those I work with regardless. But at least I have that channel.
100%.
Absolutely. Yep. And I mean, Eddie and I were talking about it too, in terms of like, when we're thinking about who do we want to ask to be our sponsors, it's like, well, who can we talk about? What tools do we use? Well, ClickUp is one of them. You see it. Right?
That works out pretty well.
We use it for Whiskey Wednesday. And same. Literally. Exactly. So same thing. It's like Canva, HubSpot. We use these tools. StreamYard. We applied to be affiliates at StreamYard, so we just got that. But we use StreamYard for this show, so we use it. So that's a really great point. I never really thought about it. But yeah, I don't know. You guys are sort of defining, I feel like, this whole B2B influencer marketing. I don't know. What is it? Is it a discipline? Is it a, is it?
Look at it as a discipline.
It's a discipline, and so it's a new emerging discipline that I don't think they teach in school yet. Maybe some of the like cutting edge schools, but I don't know. I feel like we're really lucky here on Whiskey Wednesday to be learning from Katie and Chris on this. I think Leslie, we lost her. No. I wanted to ask, like, before we give away our first prize, which if you just came in, make sure you put in @winning by design. If you want to enter to win some prizes, this first prize, @winning by design, we'll be giving that away here soon. But before we do that, do you guys have anything else on B2B influencer marketing for our audience? I mean, we've got salespeople, we've got founders, mostly B2B, who, know nothing about it. So like from the very basics up to like, what could you share? What would you tell them?
I've got something else that's been really helpful for me. Spark ads. Like, I don't know if you guys are running Spark ads yet. They're so simple. So rather than just like running your TikTok or paying an influencer to go make a video that might flop, with Spark ads, you kind of have control. So I can go to an influencer and I can say, hey, create a video that looks like this. And the first other piece of advice I'll give you is never, everything with influencer marketing they told you, I feel like is wrong. Like, you shouldn't have this whole full like guideline, like, hey, make sure you do this, make sure you do that. I think those things are just completely false. Believe in the creator. You chose a creator because they know their audience. So tell them the point you want to get across, but let them create. And then from there on the Spark ad, they can generate a code on the video and then they send you that code, and then just like a Facebook ad or an Instagram ad, you can boost it to the For You page. So you can start paying for it. If you're not seeing a lot of leads, cool, you let off. But if you are, you can double down and triple down. So Spark ads are huge. They're quite simple and quite cheap as well. So definitely look into TikTok. Don't sleep on it. It's obviously growing. And you can take that video and still repurpose it or change it around. You need to chop it up. Don't take the same TikTok as put on LinkedIn. They notice that, and the algorithm will not favor you. But if you if you take the video, change little parts of it, take the certain gold nuggets, put what would be best for LinkedIn on LinkedIn, put something different for IG Reels, it's huge. But definitely run Spark ads. They're so easy. They're so low cost. I'm having a blast with them. And you can choose, again, whatever influencer you want to make sense and see who works.
Okay.
I get kicked out for 30 seconds, and now we're talking about TikTok.
We're so sorry. I don't know what happened, but we would like to get your opinion on B2B influencer marketing before we give away a $3,000 prize value.
It's free to talk about TikTok. I'm on TikTok. Find Jessie Lezak on TikTok. I was dancing to some Beyonce on there earlier.
Promoting
Yes,
our guests.
you were.
Leslie, not to put you on the spot, but we would love to hear your perspective on B2B influencer marketing and as well as TikTok.
Yeah, it's something I think a lot about because, Katie was saying he has somebody like sliding into his DMs every single week asking him to sponsor something. Same with me. And it's even worse in my TikTok inbox. And I typed a comment and was sort of laughing to myself that I should just cut out Chris's clip describing what good influencer marketing actually looks like. And I should just reply with that to folks. I think what it isn't are those one-off, I just want you to promote my product advertisements. It doesn't work. It is such an incredible risk to the brand that I built to stake my reputation against this company that I don't really know, whose product I don't use or don't really know well. And like, honestly, for the caliber of influencer that most folks want, I don't want to sound snotty, but like they're too busy to be doing one-off videos for $75. Like that's just not worth them moving to do. So I would be highly, highly suspect of any brands that you see out there doing those like one-off paid ads with people, because that might speak to a bigger issue of like brand integrity or product integrity. But what Chris described as actual thought leaders, not influencers, that is a bit cringe, but like thought leaders who use the product and can speak from experience. That's where it's at.
Thank you for that. Does anybody else have anything to jam on before I give away this massive prize?
I think that's it.
All right, let's have some fun. So let's give away our first prize of this evening. So as I said before, these are 4 separate coaching sessions that you're going to be receiving, plus a free 6-month trial with Lavender Pro. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, and let's get this thing going.
Let me get the music going, Eddie.
Oh, snap. One person wins all of this?
Oh, yeah. Oh,
I thought it was like each was their own.
No. This is a massive show. Oh, my God.
How does that even happen?
So,
Wow.
Jesse.
No
So,
way.
Let's go.
The one person who at one point said that this thing was rigged has now actually won 2 weeks in a row. So Jesse, congratulations, man. So as
Congratulations,
some of you
Jesse.
may not know, Jesse is is a captain in what we call the ship. It's kind of like a dark social we're all part of, and it's kind of like the captain. So yeah, so Jesse, congratulations.
Go.
You was connected to all 4. This thing was rigged. Has now actually won. About that because Jesse, congratulations, man. So
Jesse,
that was the second screen. Sorry about that.
Jesse.
Some of you may not know, Jesse is is a captain in what we call. You'll probably hear that for a second. Sorry about that, folks. So it's kind of like the captain. See, I'll reach out to you and I'll connect you with all 4 of these individuals to make sure that you get what you need. Why don't we just jump into the second topic then?
Okay.
I don't think there's an echo anymore. It was just the second screen that I was doing.
I'll give Jesse a quick shout out too. He just won a bunch of packages, but this week he just gave a bunch of information away to me for free without asking anything in return because I was having an issue with my email, and he sent me like a multi-page document of how to fix it with a personalized loom.
Yeah, that's Jesse.
Wow.
Jesse's the man.
He is seriously a email wizard. Like
That's
anything
the power of community too.
Yeah. We
He's
love
like
him.
my new best friend.
He's helped us a lot.
So congratulations, Jesse, yet again. Like I said, I'll reach out to you and I'll connect you with all 4 individuals to get this thing going. Actually, no, before we get into the second topic, why don't I jump into the second prize?
Yeah, let's do
Let's do
that.
that. Let's have some fun.
Let's
So,
do that.
Jesse, for the second prize, we're going to have a 8-week cohort with Salman that you're going to see open this one right here. And then we're going to give away a we're going to give away a playbook from Anthony Natoli called the Prospecting Playbook. And last but not least, you're going to get a course with Andrew Newborn's Brand 30. So this is a $1,000 value of a package. What I would like to see everybody do is go into the comments and just start typing in mention Brand 30. So go at Brand 30 into the comments. Let's blow this thing out. We think this is an amazing prize. Like I said, you get an 8-week cohort with Salman, and it covers everything that you can think of from mid-market to corporate to even enterprise sales. And then you can have the playbook for prospecting with Anthony Natoli. And then last but not least, if you want to drive some really awesome content on LinkedIn, Andrew's famous for that. So really, kind of like an all-in-one package when it comes to courses. So go ahead and plug in at Brand 30 into the comments. So second topic, Jesse.
Let's do it. So second topic, saving time with automation. So this is a huge one. Chris, I think we talked about you kicking us off on this one as well.
Yeah, I can start. I don't want to hog, but I can definitely start. I mean, look, obviously I'm biased, but I'm obsessed with automation, and not because I'm like the tech guy. Zeb kind of made us that way in the early days. When you're trying to grow your company and scale, at any point in time, as you start doing a process, the key is to think like, how can I automate this? To give you an example, like let's say for influencer marketing. When I first was starting to run influencer marketing, I literally was just reaching out on my own messaging, right? And then I was bringing it in, checking for pricing, getting their pricing, seeing their following, look how much they post. All these things took me time. And sure, you can hire a VA and all that stuff, but I could also use the product. So what I decided to do was use ClickUp to automate the entire thing. And how I did so was we have forms, right? So I started with a form, and I just started blasting out a bunch of messaging to a ton of different influencers. Like, hey, look, you're a thought leader in my opinion. I think you're killing it. Could you get back to me if you were interested in working with ClickUp with your following, your page, what your price would be, what you would do for ClickUp, what's a cool idea you have, and then we could go from there. And then as they fill out that form, it would automatically come to a list for me in ClickUp, so I could run through and I could automatically look and see all these different people, see the pricing, see who works the best. And then from there, as the influencer posts, I can have them fill out another form for proof of that. And then I can automate the accounting as well for getting them paid. So essentially what would be, the work of like 2 people, maybe, or 3, depending on how many influencers I run a month, which we have over 150 posting for us every single month across every single platform, YouTube, Twitter, TikTok, LinkedIn. And that would be a crazy thing to try to manage with just people. But the whole thing is basically automated. I can see all of our impressions and all of that without ever doing anything. So I think everyone should use automation. I'd love to hear how it works in sales and for everyone else, but automation has changed our life. There's no way we're ever not going to try to automate. And that's a question we still ask every single day. Every single time we're looking at something we do, could we automate this? And if we can, we do so, or build a way to do so.
Yeah. Preach. I have no other words but that. I mean, the thing that I've been talking about this with Jesse often enough, and sorry, before we get to the 2 other guests, the one thing that I always talk to Jesse about is how we can continue to integrate what we have as far as our tech and try to find a way to automate them and also automate them together. Because at the end of the day, we want to try to have as much time for the productive stuff, for the revenue generating items, rather than some of those task heavy things that are going to get in the way. So that is something we're continuously learning to do apart from what we do on our everyday. So I live and preach that. Leslie?
I will agree with this with a caveat that you don't automate suck.
Very Don't over automate.
Okay, it's not about over automating. It's about automating things that aren't working. That's where people get so stuck, is they're trying to automate something that doesn't work. If back to Chris's example, if what he wasn't doing manually wasn't working, there's no reason to automate yet. And so what's happening right now in SaaS and in sales and so many places is people are thinking automation first, not effectiveness. You need to get it effective first, then you automate. And with all of these tools that are out there right now, everyone is starting with automation before they figured out what actually works. So now you are automating sucky emails, you are automating sucky onboarding, you're automating sucky videos, you're automating sucky hiring, you're automating sucky calls. That's the problem. So I believe in automation, but you need to make sure it's working first. Then you automate. That's the only caveat, because I firmly believe a lot of sales can be automated. I do. I know that might be blasphemous coming from a sales guy and a sales leader, but if it's not working manually, it's not going to work automated. In fact, it's going to be even worse. So that's my only caveat here is look to automate after it's working. If it's not working yet, you haven't earned the right to automate. So that'd be my only caveat on this.
Boom. That's a great point. And as soon as you started talking about that, I was thinking, and make sure you have some clean and accurate data, please.
Mhm.
Yes.
Especially if you're running some text messaging campaigns, because come on.
We have a first. This is the first time we get a comment from somebody on YouTube.
Oh,
sweet.
Congrats.
So we're no longer just being viewed on LinkedIn. We're actually being viewed on a second
What's up,
platform.
YouTube?
David, thank you, David. Don't stop watching. Seriously, please. Okay,
Leslie, what can you inform our audience on in terms of saving time with automation?
Yeah, I mean, I think that Kevin nailed it. Like what we saw, particularly with everybody moving remote, like getting rid of in-person meetings, was this flood of outbound. Like a lot of people are saying a 40% uptick in outbound. And so many folks, instead of pulling back and looking at, hey, how can we create more meaningful connections, or how can we put more relevant, more valuable content in front of our prospects to get their attention, they said, we are, yes, trash 10 times. They 10 times their trash outreach. And, you know, what I find particularly frustrating is pushback from leaders, primarily, it's rarely reps, leaders saying it worked. And I think it's really important to remember that just because something generated you meetings, if it generated you 10 meetings but burned 100 bridges, that didn't actually work. That caused a lot more damage to your brand than the value those 10 meetings could ever bring. So I'm a huge advocate for like sales enablement platforms, things that can make things plug and play, but you need to start with templates that are going to be meaningful to your prospect the majority of the time.
Great points. Yeah. I mean, we could talk about automation for days. And honestly, when I think of automation, I have to say one of the tools that comes to mind is Zapier. In my career, have I have used the shit out of Zapier and have snapped the shit out of some stuff that have like literally improved my life. Like, let me just tell you, like, thank you, Zapier. Like, can Zapier be a sponsor? Because I can talk about them every Wednesday.
Anybody here know anybody at Zapier? You do? Chris, don't do that to me. Don't do that to me.
I will. I'll make that community. I'll make that introduction tonight.
They're just starting to do more on influencer stuff too. Like they're really actually starting to. I've seen them pick it up on TikTok. Zapier is amazing. They're so cool.
Oh.
One of my favorites.
Actually, I want to call this out real quick too for any of the sales leaders or future sales leaders. Start learning this stuff now. It's been one of my biggest focus. So like this year I stepped away, right? I stepped away from building and leading 150, 200 person teams to do consulting this year. But one of my focuses was to get into the tech more. What are the things coming up that I don't know about? What are the things I didn't have time to look at when I had a large team, when I had a $50 million number to hit, and getting into what can be automated? This is the stuff that Jesse and I, it's funny, like we're diving into this. What can be automated? What steps could be automated? What could you do? How could you replicate? How could you free up? And so leaders, learn this now, because that's also what I'm seeing across the industry in a lot of ways is like, and I would put myself in this bucket. If I didn't have this time to step back, you don't know what's possible. You're so busy in it. You're so busy in the weeds that you ask most veteran sales leaders what can be automated. They have no idea. They have no idea. They don't even know what Zapier is. They don't know how to zap something. They don't know how to connect it. They don't know how to create a script. They don't know how to write Java. They don't understand Python. They don't even know how to use Excel the right way. So like taking time, like anyone here who wants to truly be a leader in the future, start to understand this stuff now, because automation is coming. You just need to understand how to do it the right way.
And even if you don't have a aspiration for leadership, just to simply make yourself more hireable. Yeah. There's so many free certifications out there, and lots of them take 2, 3, 4 hours and look fire on your resume.
I will tell you some of the stuff that I learned for automation. Majority of it was on YouTube. I literally started learning Zapier on YouTube one day. And Katie, I'm with you because my favorite thing to talk about is tech. So anytime that I do any level of consulting with SMB or even mid-market, it revolves around sales and how it coincides with tech. That's why I have the little spin on my banner talking about all the tech products that generate revenue. But when I first started, I used YouTube, and YouTube introduced me to Zapier. From that point, I just started testing and having fun with it. But one person, and it's funny, we bridged this back over to Jesse Willett, but Jesse Willett showed us something in the ship a long time ago. He was using, I think it was called Integromat, but the chain of events that take place where you start off with one specific thing and how it branches out into 100 different items. And the amount of things that can be automated within this entire branch is insane. Like, you are literally taking 3 to 4 human beings that would do all of these things, these tasks or whatever motions, and are completely eliminating the human. And you're just allowing the system to produce itself. So it is fascinating what you can do with it. And I mean, I'm very beginner with it, but fortunately I have surroundings like yourselves that allow us to know about these things and allow us to explore it.
Yeah. At its core, and I know this will ruffle some feathers, sales is nothing but a really long chain of if-thens. And because it's a very long chain of if-thens, there are places for automation to show up. If the lead looks like this, then that. If the persona is this, then that. If you get this objection, then that. If they're this type of company, then that. If they want to solve this problem, it's all if-thens, right? Someone mentioned in the chat, right, of like the variability of sales. It's true. There are a lot of variables, but we actually know about 80% of them. And since we know 80% of them, we can build processes around it. Whether it can be automated or not, we will see, but you can build a process around all of it.
Okay, so I have to tell you something. You might have seen this before. There was a post about 7 months ago of a gentleman that posted a link to an automation that was done for an entire sales conversation. So basically, you would start as a customer and you would press something and it would generate responses, but it would give you the action that you were going to potentially object towards. So that way, when you press it, it would literally answer the objection before you had the chance to actually object. And it would carry you through the entire conversation and you would be driven to the final result. And I found that fascinating because as a person who was not necessarily buying it, just trying it, thinking of myself as the salesperson who would do this manually, where we're going towards, how somebody was able to write the entire script and automate the entire conversation with no human behind it, driving to a potential buy now button. So when we talk about this product-led growth environment, I'm looking at a more of an automated growth environment because product-led is, we look at it from the freemium perspective, but when you look at this led growth concept, this is it at its finest. Driving the sale from beginning to end with a robot and no human in between.
We shall see.
All good stuff. And Eddie, while we have you there in the limelight, shall we just give away that second prize?
Hell yeah, we should. So why don't we go ahead? And there was a ton of people who actually went ahead with this. So let's start giving away the second prize. Jesse, you want to pull up the banner for the second prize so we can show everybody? Thank you very much. As always. So as I said before, this is a value of $1,000. You get an 8-week cohort with Salman, and this covers, like I said, everything from mid-market, corporate, enterprise sales. Second, your prospecting playbook with Anthony Natoli. This thing is absolute gold. Last but not least, Brand 30 with Andrew Newborn. So when you want to drive content, understand how to post, some of the best headlines you can use, that's the person. So let's go ahead and give that away.
Let's do it. Let's see the second prize. Oh, we've got
Lindsay! Congratulations, Lindsay. This is huge. So, Lindsay, as you know, what we're going to be doing. So let me just go ahead and remove this. So, Lindsay, I will connect you with all 3 individuals for the prize after the show, if not first thing tomorrow morning, because we will be staying up a little bit late in the after party, and hopefully our guests will attend with us. So let's jump into, and actually before we jump into, no, you know what? Let's jump into the third. At the fourth, and right before the fourth, we're going to give away the last package. So,
well, we can start the wait.
Yeah, we can do that if you want. So
now, so people can start, getting.
Let's pull me into the screen, and why don't we show them the brand, exactly what it is that we're giving. Actually, I'll do it. I got it open. So
do it.
Last but not least, and this is my favorite because you can clearly see I'm wearing the swag. What I would like everybody to do is plug in at ClickUp. That's simple. So yeah, my boy's wearing his hat, as you can clearly see. So they're giving away a beanie, a sweater, a tumbler, and also AirPod Pros. And we also have a sweater, as you normally seen in the last couple episodes, from SAS Pros, and a Rev Genius sweater. This is a value of nearly $700, give or take. So please do go in and press mention, click up. Blow the hell out of the comments. I'm asking you, please. And I just realized we're almost at 800 comments. And as you know, I do this every time. I'm just going to say it out loud. I love you all. That's
You
all
all
it
are
is.
amazing.
Love you all. I can't not say it. I love you all for doing this and for support. So plug in at click up. Let's jump into the
This
third.
is a big prize, guys. You're going to want to get this one. So I would just keep getting that at click up. I mean, AirPods, really? And they're AirPods Pro? What's the difference between AirPods and AirPods Pro, though?
They're just better. What's the
Noise cancellation?
Noise cancellation.
Noise
And,
cancellation. That's
yeah.
huge.
I feel like Tom Slocum really wants to win it because I think he's posted click up like 20 times already.
If Tom Slocum doesn't win, I quit.
I feel like I owe Tom the package anyway. Like I feel like I already owe Tom the package.
I have nothing but good things to say about Tom. I've made a post about Tom. That's how far I take it. But anyways.
So this third topic we're going to dive right into, and it was inspired by Katie's LinkedIn post. So retention and expansion for the win. And we're not into the topic on the recession yet. But I know that this could possibly help us at this time. So Katie, could you take us away and tell us what you were talking about in your post about retention and expansion?
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, what I think a lot of companies and even sellers and leaders forget is in SaaS, you make all of your money on the back end, right? So in SaaS, we have this term, right? ARR, right? Annual recurring revenue. And we think just because someone signed a contract that that's recurring revenue. It's not recurring revenue until they renew, right? And it's the expansion side. It's that they stay, that the revenue actually comes from for all of these businesses, right? Because if you don't have good retention, you don't get the valuations, you don't IPO, you can't raise this amount of money that you want to. And it's all just falling out the back, right? But what's interesting about this is customer success and support does not get nearly as much attention and resources and tools and training and coaching as the sales org does. Right? Sales gets all this attention on like training and psychology and influence and all these things, and then success does not. That's when all the money actually comes, right? Is on the back end. And so what's happening right now is, Jocko at Winning by Design, he coined this well. He said, recurring revenue comes from recurring impact. And if you are not actually helping your customers get the impact that they were looking for, you don't have recurring revenue because they're going to leave, right? So my question, right, anyone like listening and also to the host here, do you have a favorite restaurant that you go back to on a regular basis? You have a favorite restaurant you go back
Big
to?
time. Shaw's Oyster House every day of the week. Best martinis, oyster happy hour. Mm-hmm.
Okay, Chris, what do you got? What's your go-to? What do you go back to?
Oh, you're on mute.
Mute.
I didn't even know you could mute yourself on
You
this.
sounded enthusiastic about it.
I'm so sorry I didn't mute. So Lumi in San Diego, the best sushi by far. It's a vibe. It's on the rooftop. It's incredible. That's my spot.
Okay, right. So you keep going back, even though you didn't sign a contract, even though there was no agreement to continue to go back, you keep going back because you get the impact you're looking for from where you're going. You get the experience, you get the flavor, you get the ambiance, you get the quality, you get the treatment. Recurring has nothing to do with the contract. It has to do with the experience and the impact that you deliver. That's why you keep going back. And that gets lost in SaaS, I think, in a big way. Is we're so focused on the revenue, and then we're so focused on expansion, and we're so focused on NPS that we forget, is the customer getting the impact they were looking for when they bought our product? That does not get enough attention. And oftentimes, I don't think CS is equipped to deliver impact. Oftentimes, they are equipped to deliver feedback, and they're equipped to deliver support, but they're not equipped to deliver impact. Is the customer getting the impact? That's what keeps the revenue recurring, and I don't think that gets enough attention.
May I say something?
Yeah.
Only if you agree.
I more than agree. That's the funny thing. So if anybody is actually watching from Trainio that I've given the sales psychology course in, or the cohort that I'm going to do again next week, What you just asked, the question about restaurants, is the exact question I asked. But the way I break it down is I go back to the idea of emotion and logic, but then I break down this emotion into familiarity. On its granular level, how when you buy a lot of the times on familiarity. You do it pre, present, and post, right? In your pre, it's something that you're familiar with, which is why you go to a restaurant, you keep ordering the same thing. It's familiar to you. When you're in there, it's already familiar. It's a product that you're used to. And in the post, the reason why from a vendor standpoint, when someone's trying to deteriorate you away from what you know, the only way or some of the easiest ways for salespeople to try to make a switch is to show as much relevance as what you're using currently towards what you're going to be using. Because then it creates it doesn't create too much difficulty for implementation, which again takes away a lot of the opportunity costs. So that's why I'm saying I agree 100%.
It's interesting. Oren Clough talks about this in his book, Flip the Script, where novelty gets attention, familiarity actually closes the deal. Oh, so when something's too novel, that's new. Okay, all right. Let me check that out. But then when you get into it, if you continue to present in a way that it's too new, it's different, mind-blowing, groundbreaking, it actually scares people away. So the novelty attracts, but then it needs to be close enough to what they know and a little bit better. So it's actually better to say, so it's actually a lot like, for this would be a bad example, so it's a lot like ClickUp. So you like ClickUp and you like this feature about it? It's really similar to that. It just does this. And it's actually connecting the dots to what they are familiar with, what they trust, and then showing them the application versus saying we're totally different then. It's actually easier to influence and convince when it's close to what I know, but just a little bit better than this is completely new and different, right? So there's actually a lot of psychology behind that.
And even look at the vehicle concept. That's my second one I use. When you go to buy and upgrade your vehicle, the novelty of that additional feature, but then you're still familiar with the original vehicle. It's not something that, I had the bucket seats. I'm familiar with the bucket seats, but guess what? One extra gadget that just elevated my entire experience. Mm-hmm. So now you buy that vehicle because of it. And that's just like you said, right? It closes the deal. It's just that people, the second they go from a Ford to a Hyundai and they see the entire shift, this is going to be hard for me to get used to, just like software. You want to take somebody from software A to software B, but implementation is very difficult and orientation of it is too difficult. They're going to get scared and that fear is going to drive them away. But if you can familiarize them with the process and say, it's just like this, it's also easier and it takes less time. And then from that point, the return that you're going to receive is going to be more immediate, which in turn reduces opportunity cost, raises revenue. And that's the objective here.
On a side note, a lot of people used to always hate on us. So like, why do you have so many billboards? I see your billboards, you're in the airport.
We're just talking about it.
Billboards.
Like, yeah, they're everywhere. They're like, how can you get an ROI? How can you prove it? And I'm like, look, I can't directly for sure tell you, but what I can tell you is like when we start reaching out to people, even influencers or trying to reach out for big deals, the first thing so many people say is, hey, look, I don't know really who you are, but I've seen your billboards, I've seen you on those trains, I've seen you in the airport. So familiarity is key, even if it's on a different side, just knowing who you are, the more comfortable you are.
Well, I would say to my favorite restaurant that when my favorite bartender left, like speaking of familiarity and knowing that I was going to get exactly what I showed up for, I stopped prioritizing going. So like very much to your point, I have a question and this can be like to the audience, like to the other co-hosts. But one of the things I see often when working with CSM teams is that they are not as prescriptive in nature as sales teams are. And I think part of it is that they do not get that same training. I think sometimes it's a mindset thing that they're so afraid of being seen as salespeople that they pull back. They don't feel like they maybe have the permission to be that forward. And that really hurts the business when they are the experts. They literally talk to more customers than anybody else, than the SDRs and the AEs, period. They're the experts, but they don't have that I don't know, permission, confidence, training, whatever it is to lead with their expert advice and opinion.
I just led a training for Pavilion in their customer success school, funny enough, for their CS school. Right?
I did it. It was great.
Not for sales, for the CS school. And that was a big portion. I was like, look, look at who's better set up to sell. CS is all day long. CS has a long-term. You don't like. We always use the analogy. You date sales, you marry CS.
Hell yeah.
Right?
Amen.
Like sales,
yeah.
we get to do the seduction. We get to do the date. We get to take you on that dance, right? Make you feel good. And then it's like, all right, go marry CS where the real work and relationship shows up. CS has the relationship. CS knows their goals. CS knows the usage. CS gets to talk to them more regularly. CS oftentimes understands the product better than sales. Like all of this sets CS up to sell better than sales, right? And this is the word selling is what throws people off, right? It at the end of the day, it's helping people get the impact they signed up for. And if you're not helping them get the impact they signed up for, you're actually doing them a disservice. Everyone forgets what the S stands for in customer success. CS is customer success. So you owe it to them to be prescriptive. You owe it to them to sell them if they need more of something to help them get to where they need to be, right? Like that we owe it to them. And CS is set up way better. I wish I had what CS had when I'm trying to close deals. I wish, right? Like, wait, you've already given me money and I know your resources and I know what you've done and I'm multi-threaded. Hell yeah. Like, I love it. CS is set up to sell better than sales. And when they grasp that, game over.
I mean,
So
I'm
I
like
have an
that
idea.
new logo forever. I like that's where my heart is. But I've like deeply relied on strong relationships with customer success to be successful. Like I would not be the person that consistently exceeds quota if I didn't have the privilege of strong CS teams to support me and share the insights that they have access to that I simply would not have access to without them.
Oh, looks like we've got a visitor.
Oh,
Hey, Karen.
Oh no.
Karen, are you there? Looks like you're here, Karen. Well, we were just Oh, hey, Karen. We've got some guests. You want to meet our guests that we have on tonight?
Yeah, sorry.
Have you been watching?
Yeah, I've had a couple of whiskeys tonight, so I'm really angry. This has been a violent night for me here.
Have those SAS kids been calling again, Karen?
Yeah, and that's really why I'm here. I've just been downloading ebooks lately with a lot of nice pictures. They start out with a nice form, and I really want to get the PDF on the other side. And what I'm doing is I'll submit my name, I'll submit everything in, and then all of a sudden, literally within 30 seconds, the SAS kids are on the phone calling me. And they won't stop calling my personal cell phone, and I know where the data's coming from. And these data providers just keep giving it out. And these states won't stop these kids from calling. How about the do not call list, Jesse?
Oh, the do not call list. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, why do you like to download so many ebooks again, Karen? Can you remind me?
I'd like to talk to a LinkedIn manager. Is there a LinkedIn manager on the show that I could talk to?
I suppose that'd be maybe me or Eddie. Why not? I mean,
I don't know what I could answer. I mean, where are you going to download these ebooks from? What sites are you downloading them from?
Well, I go into some of these sites, and there's just an opportunity. They bait you into it. And I know, they say, download this, it's an industry, what all these smart, industry analysts think about this topic. I just go on and I download it, and I don't know. I get called by the SAS kids, and you can't lay these kids off fast enough. I'm trying to get them out of these companies.
sheesh, Karen.
I know, and I'm speaking from the heart here, though, and I just can't stand it. I even brought my own sound so I can clap because you guys don't like what I'm saying. So leave me alone. Stop calling me on my personal cell. I can tell you who it is. It's Brandon in the Lambo. He keeps flying around Clearwater. He's just driving around in his Lamborghini, giving out my phone number. I might give his phone number out on the next show. I'm trying to get off the damn list here, and I'm going to give Brandon's number out on the next show. I will call in the next show. If he doesn't take me off the list, I'm going to give his number out. Seamless. And unless he becomes a sponsor, then I won't bother him anymore. But just kidding.
I mean, I don't know, Karen. I feel like there are a lot of people who think like you, and every week we ask the guests, like, some people want to like try to set Karen straight and tell her she's wrong, or they'll like agree with her. But like Chris, Katie, Leslie, like, what would you say to Karen?
I mean, I would say, why are we trying so hard to sell to somebody that seems like they would just not maybe be the ideal client to work with and renew? I think most of us probably have big enough TAMs.
Yeah. Like let's stop eating our content. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah, stop beating me into these damn ebooks. I mean, I like to download them. It doesn't mean I want to buy. I run a pretty big HR department here, and I get out of work around 4 p.m. every day, and I watch Johnny on the soccer field, little Johnny, kicking goals. She's doing a really good job lately, and we're really just trying to get my phone number off these damn lists, and I'd like to talk to a LinkedIn manager.
On the other hand, Karen, if you did buy from me, maybe I'd be tracking towards that Lambo.
Well, I'd rather see you in the Lambo than the guy giving out my phone number to everybody. I mean, it used to be a thing where we'd give out our phone number. It meant something at one point in my life, when I was a little bit younger, and I'd have more people asking me for it.
Katie, Leslie, were y'all prepped on the whole Karen part? I didn't know about this.
I have no fucking idea what's going on right now.
This is very strange.
The DM, I know.
Well, I don't
We
want
would
to.
double the whiskey if we didn't know about this.
So I'm gonna jump in here. I'm gonna jump in here, Karen. We'll chat here. I don't know what's happening here. But if we talk about this, so one is someone who personally knows Brandon and his Lambo, which he sold, by the way. I can speak to him as a person, far from perfect, but damn it, the dude's trying and is truly doing what he can to grow a large company and take care of his people, and the people that know him well will vouch for that individual. The second point that I want to bring up here, though, is my guess is you're downloading these ebooks because you want to learn something. Is that a fair assumption?
Yeah,
Ooh, here's the disco.
Okay. So if you're downloading something to learn something, every once in a while, the company that produced that content might be able to give you some insights that aren't in the book. They might be able to give you some applications of what you were trying to learn, because the book is the what. The companies exist for the how. And so if you're downloading these books to learn what to do, more often than not, the companies that produced it know how to let you do it. And now that does not mean you have to buy, but it might be worth a conversation with some of these individuals to find out if they can help you accomplish what you were trying to accomplish when you downloaded the book. Because my guess is you're not downloading ebooks just for that Friday night reading. You're downloading it because you want to learn how to do something. The company might be able to help you. Have that conversation with that sales rep. You tell them to stop calling, I bet you they stop. But they might, just might, Karen, be able to help you achieve with what you were trying to achieve by downloading that book. So that would be my feedback to you, my friend.
That was an unbelievable
Mic
answer.
drop.
Amazing.
Wow.
Mike, pow. You're right, Chris.
Karen, what do you say to that?
That was
Best
really,
response we've gotten.
really, really good.
So good.
I mean,
Wow.
I don't know. I've been very angry at this show because I feel like you've been blocking me from talking to the management team of LinkedIn. But, I gotta say that was a nice take on something. Maybe I'll have some things to reconsider. Maybe I've been drinking a little bit too much. I'm gonna have to leave, but sorry about that. I guess I'm gonna go. I might have the wrong number tonight. Gotta
Well,
go.
thank you for
Bye.
coming, Karen. We love you as always. Why don't we jump into our fourth topic then? What do you think, Jesse? Let's jump into the fourth and then we'll
Topic
go.
number 4,
Yeah.
evolving for the recession. And if you've joined recently, make sure that you put @ClickUp in the comments to enter to win our last prize, which is bomb. You can read about it in the little scroller at the bottom.
And then we're going to give it away right after this topic before we get into the Guru of the Week.
Yes, so you have a little bit of time to enter that to win. But evolving for the recession, who wants to kick this one off?
I can kick it off, but also if you're just joining right now, are you mouthing to yourself, what the heck did I just listen to?
If you're new to what we're doing, so Karen comes on all the time. She is a regular for Whiskey Wednesday, actually. She likes to rile us up. But if you are new, Karen is our resident Karen. So she comes in complaining about SAS Kids all the time. If you download any ebooks or you download anything online, that's a lead magnet. And then eventually you get a call from the SAS Kids. She just doesn't like the SAS Kids. But tonight, KD might have proved her wrong, so she may never
That
come.
was awesome,
He
Katie.
closed it. I mean, it was
Yeah,
over.
that was just bang.
That was amazing. If you join our Slack community, we have a Karen bot, so you can type certain words and Karen will show up.
So
So-
if you're a fan of Karen, I almost feel bad she might never come back. Katie
I
literally.
mean, let's be
sliced
honest,
that one.
Karen was not a decision maker. She like reported to somebody that reported to the decision maker, and she just like cannot wait to gatekeep the process because you don't need to talk to her boss. She'll talk to her boss for you.
I think you're right.
So let's get into topic number 4, evolving for the recession. Leslie, you said you want to kick us off.
Yes. Okay. So we were sort of talking, behind stage in our group prior to coming on, and this is a topic that's been like really top of mind for me lately because the strategy of inbound has not been like widely practiced during a great recession. And hopefully, knock on wood, everybody, that's not where we're going. Maybe it won't get that bad. But I'm so curious to hear from folks in the chat, like from my co-hosts, what their thinking is around how inbound, now that it is literally a widespread strategy with our freemiums, with our PLGs, with our influence, all of this, how that needs to evolve to prepare for the possibility of a great recession when attention and interest and budgets and all of that is going to dry up a bit. That was more of a question than an answer. As Jill Conrath would say, I guess questions are the answer, but I'm like so curious to hear what people's thoughts are. I can share mine, which is make sure that you have some cold calling and cold outreach chops. But I want to hear from other people.
KD, Chris?
I talked to Karen, so I'm recovering still. So I'll let you.
Take a big swig. Switch to a cheaper bottle so you can put a little bit.
No, I'm keeping with the good stuff. Let's go.
What was the last part you said? Sorry, what was the last part you said?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, like what? So my opinion is that I think teams that rely very, very heavily on inbound should right now start preparing more of their outbound chops, like thinking about outbound motions, getting some of those skill sets on their team. But I'm curious, and you're a perfect person to have an opinion on this. Like, what will inbound as a strategy look like in a great recession? It's never done it before, right? We've never used it. It's never had to survive a recession. So like, what does it look like? How does it evolve? How does it stay pertinent?
Look, I don't run sales anymore, but I will say this: like, I think people are going to get scrappy again. We prepped for this. We did a big raise right before just to see what's going to happen because we don't know how long this is going to be. Right? Our investors definitely were aware, so we were ahead of it. But when it comes to sales, I would think back to the early days and before we had money and we had inbound at all when it was just myself. We had to get scrappy. And I'll give you guys a tactic we did that maybe someone else can use. It worked really well. We built a program. Thank goodness our CEO, Zeb, is a genius, and our CTO, Alex. And they built a program that essentially went through and took every single review from all of our competitors that were bad, right? So someone's like, oh, Asana really made me angry, or Monday's just not working for me. And then I would get those reviews and I would see them and then I could find them on social and reach out. And that's how I do a lot of leads. So I think it's time to get scrappy again. I feel like everyone has gotten spoiled. Even click up here. We have a lot of inbound right now, but we'll see how that goes. And our goals are so high that we really want to step it up. So I think I don't know how inbound is going to change. We just hired a new CRO, so above what I did. I was just a sales guy trying at the beginning with ClickUp, having a lot of fun. Wish I knew KD back then and Tom and the gang, but I was just picking up the phone and figuring things out. But by getting scrappy and doing different things like that, that was a huge way to get leads for us. That was really cool. So that's something
a gold mine of social listening that just not enough people utilize.
Right. I mean, that gold mine.
Sir, go on.
No, you're good. I was going to say, like Capterra, there's so many of these things. There's G2, there's so many, and people are reviewing every single day. You could pull, like you said, social listening from Twitter. I'm sure people are even complaining about whatever, any competitor every day. So we could jump on those, which we try to do from ClickUp now. But I mean, just a great point. But I don't know. It's a good question. I want to go talk to our team and see how we are changing, because we definitely are. We're pulling back our marketing spend, so we have less leads. So we have to get crafty. It's why we made such a big hire for our new CRO.
KD, what do you think?
So, I mean, there's two parts to this question. There's selling in the recession in general, and then there's the inbound selling part in a recession, right? So like on the inbound side, and this will apply really to, all recession, is you have to really look at your messaging and make the recession the reason. You have to figure out how to make the recession the reason why someone should buy your product, right? So if you think about a ClickUp, if you think about sales training, if you think about the things that y'all sell, what about a recession makes your product a must-have because of the recession, right? So you don't avoid it. You say, because things are getting tighter, you don't have time to waste doing manual data entry. It's because things are getting tighter. You don't have time to waste here, right? It's because hiring is frozen. You got to get more out of the reps you have right now, right? So you use, first of all, the recession as the reason. You don't avoid it. You don't pretend it's not there. You have to understand that your prospects are going with this. That's the first. It's the reason. That's why we're reaching out. But then the second, on the inbound side, to I think kind of what you were hinting at a little bit, is like there's different portions, right? So a demo request, book them, book the demo request. But if you think about white papers, webinars, events, what I coached my teams with, and I worked very closely with my marketing team, was mapping out what we called the next best thing funnel. So if someone, right, Karen downloaded an ebook, what's the next best thing we want to get her to do? It's not a demo. As badly as we want the demo, that's not the next best thing. She hasn't gotten there yet. So from ebook, maybe it's another ebook. And if I can get her to download 2 ebooks, then maybe it's a webinar. And what should that webinar be focused on? Recession-proofing their business and how our product fits in. She attends the webinar. Now I'm going for that demo. So it's mapping out the next best thing that each individual should do based off where they are in terms of engagement and familiarity. But it's flipping your messaging. You have to tie your messaging to the recession, not avoid it, and see if you can connect those dots. Why are you a must-have now because of the recession? That's how you bridge it. And then to the point of getting scrappy, I'll just call this out, whether this is a popular opinion or not. Like, if your team has been fully inbound for a long time, you may want to hire some outbound dedicated reps, because it is really effing hard to take people that have all, and not to say that inbound is easy, I'm just saying it's easier. That's all I'm saying. But it's a different mindset. If leads have been coming in, they already have a problem in some way, versus finding people and helping them be aware of a problem. I've fought that battle before. I don't fight it anymore. If I need to elevate outbound, I'm going to hire people specific to that role and let them do what they do, versus trying to convert inbound to outbound. Because then what you have is reps being paid generally less to do harder work, right? Because they're not hitting their quotas anymore, because things are coming down, and now you're asking them to do outbound on top of what they've been doing. So they go, wait, I'm not hitting quota, and now you want me to cold call? You can get the F out my flax. I'm not gonna do it, right? So that's just something to think about.
I love it.
We were talking earlier about automation, and what we're definitely going to see more of during a recession is crappy automation, because people are going to be desperate to get the deals in. So to your point about like giving them a reason to act now, giving them a reason to prioritize this in the midst of all of these other messages, in the midst of this bad automation, in the midst of probably personal stress they're feeling from down economic times, like, you better make that message extremely relevant and extremely value driven if you want to break through.
So I do want to plug something in here, and Tom just actually said hire SD Lab. So I do want to plug in Tom, because he says something that's pretty profound. Closed mouths don't get fed. And I love how he says that. And in a scrappy time like Chris is talking about right now, closed mouths just don't get fed. You want to pick up that phone and you want to make that outbound. So if you are somebody who doesn't really know how to do that, or you're a company that's not utilizing that, or have really been into that motion for a long time about inbounding, I mean, look, the plug is the plug. Reach out to Tom Slocum. He's one of the best at it. Tom Slocum on LinkedIn, or thesdlabs.com, or thesdlab.com. He's a friend of mine. He's a brother of mine. And I truly believe in what he's trying to do, because he understands what's coming and he's ahead of it. So why don't I jump into the prize? This is the last package. This is my favorite. So why don't we go ahead and give it away? Jesse, why don't you plug back the image, and then oh, you're on mute.
I'm sorry. I was just going to say, you've got 2 seconds. If you haven't put @ClickUp in the comments yet, enter to win by putting @ClickUp in the comments. But yeah, let's show them what they can win, Eddie.
And I'll go ahead over. So that you know, the last prize is going to be is going to be 6 items. You're going to get a ClickUp beanie, a hat in this case, ClickUp sweater, a tumbler, and also AirPod Pros, also a SAS Pro sweater, which you have all seen before, and a Rev Genius shirt. So I'm going to go ahead and, oh, never mind. We've had like 4 other people since then. This thing is quite popular. It's like,
At
sorry to
ClickUp.
say it, everybody, it's the most popular item so far. So holy shit, everybody's going bananas on the comments. So don't stop going bananas. How about this? I'll give it 2 more minutes, and I'll go ahead and select a winner.
We could do Guru of the Week and give the audience a little more time to
It's
put
up to 6
ClickUp
people,
in.
actually.
to
So
enter-
I don't know that we need to give Tom more time to keep dropping it in. Every other one, like
It
come on
literally jumped 6 people from the time I started talking till now. So how about this? We'll
The
give you
new
another
people.
couple of minutes. Let's jump into Guru of the Week. And then once we're done Guru of the Week, we'll give out the prize. So if you're still with us, you have to be present, of course, to win. I know that you're still present by just seeing the people on here. So why don't we give the opportunity for the guests to say who the Guru of the Week is? You can do it together simultaneously, or just one of you can go. It's a consensus on your end. But we will show who it is once you say who it is.
Should we do like 3,
I'll
2?
do it. That's what we do. We always do. So, okay, how about this? So I will get the picture ready. So 3, 2, 1.
Evan
Patterson.
Patterson.
Oh, here it is. That's the guy.
There he is.
There's the guy.
Guru of the Week. Oh, the Guru of the Week. Oh. I usually do a
And
song
now,
for that.
we ask you why. Why Evan? What has he done that's different? What has he contributed, or how has he contributed, and why is he the Guru of the Week?
I mean, I can jump in. Tom and I got to hang with Evan at Saster, and the guy's electric. I mean, he's talking to everyone. You don't even realize he's selling you. You don't even realize that one minute he's talking to you and he's just giving you some great advice or telling you about an awesome date that he's on, which is why he's not here with us right now. And the next thing you know, he's right into business. And I'm pretty sure he was making a transition recently. And it seems like he just automatically jumped into something else through his LinkedIn presence. So I think he's really learned how to network on a whole nother level. He's so positive, so passionate, and he's not afraid to call people out either. I love that about him. He is not afraid to call people out for something, he doesn't believe in. So, hats off to Evan. He's awesome. He's killing the LinkedIn game. He's done it. We've worked with him with ClickUp in the past, and he always delivers. Incredible guy.
I have nothing but good things to say. He's a massive supporter of LGBTQ community, and I said that right, LGBTQ.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he's on TikTok.
I don't want to mess it up. That's all.
He is on TikTok, 2 accounts if you
Yeah.
see his private account. Anyway, I nominated Evan because he is somebody that truly gives with an open palm instead of a closed fist. He is extraordinarily generous, and he's also just a very unadulterated version of himself. Like the Evan that you see on TikTok, on Instagram, on LinkedIn, wherever you follow him, is his whole self, and he brings it to us every single day. And then to your point, Chris, he doesn't apologize and he doesn't back down when it makes other people uncomfortable that he's his whole self and that he takes up space. And I think for so many of us in SaaS sales, that message of taking up the space that we deserve is a powerful one. That's a guru if I've ever seen it.
Oh, yeah.
Wonderfully said. He was the rawest person I've ever talked to in a coffee chat on LinkedIn.
I believe it. That checks out.
The shit that came out of his mouth, at one point, I laughed about the entire time. And I posted about a long time ago how much we laughed in our conversation. The most abrupt stuff you could ever think of. But he opens the door for people to do the same thing. He has that aura about him that allows you to be yourself beyond what you thought you were. So this way, it's opening the door to say, you know what, just speak what you think. Don't worry about it. Just be you. And we are so programmed, at least for me as a salesperson, that always trying to find this path to go on. But with him, it's just don't sell me, just talk to me. And talk to me at your rawest form. And that's why I appreciate him.
Absolutely. Anything else anyone wants to add on Evan before we give away this last prize? All right. Well, we will have Evan. Isn't he a guest next week, Eddie?
Next week. So what a coincidence.
Yeah. What a coincidence.
Let's go ahead and give away the last prize. And then right after the last prize, we'll put up the link to go into our after party, which is going to be in our Google Meet, because I know for a fact that there's no way there's only going to be 10 people who want to go on live with us. So let me go ahead and give the last prize. This is, again, like we said, for the ClickUp swag, SAS Pros, and Rev Genius.
Here we go.
Oscar Gomez.
Congratulations, Oscar. I can't believe Tom didn't win. Tom.
I'm
Congrats.
sorry, Tom.
Tom, I still got you anyway. I got you a little something anyway.
Oh, don't
look
say
at
that.
Man.
That's awesome. Oscar, congratulations. I will reach out to you. Actually, I will connect with you after the show. I don't think we are connected, but I will connect with you. And I will find a way to get you involved with the 3 individuals that are going to be taking care of those prizes. Again, congratulations. What we are going to do now is we're going to put a link inside of the comments for the private meet group that we're going to be part of for the after party. And let
We
me
would
plug that in
absolutely
right
love
now.
it if our guests would join the after party. I know you've already, it's super late. You know, you're like still in the office, Chris, I think. But the after parties where the guests come on, they tell us what they think of the show. And, you know, we really get into the nitty gritty because it's private. It's not live on LinkedIn, you know? But yeah, we understand if you can't be there, but it looks like Eddie already put the link out there.
Yeah. So it's in there now, and I'm just going to repost it a couple times because it always gets lost after a little bit. But I do want to say a big thank you before we go.
Yeah, and before we leave, we do like to ask our guests live too, what all did you guys think? And like, how can we improve this? I mean, Eddie and I are trying to build in public, so feel free to give us your full honesty.
Yeah, we always ask, what did you think about the show? Tell us a little bit of feedback. Give us what you think we could do better, or that's it.
I think the show was awesome. You know, Karen was even fun too. I had no idea Karen was coming. She was incredible. I've never seen a Karen get shut down like that. I've never in my life.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Usually I have a lot of problems with Karens, you know, and I don't mind going at it too. But I mean, Katie didn't have to get mad. He actually just like changed her whole perspective. I love the show. I love the questions. The fact that the comments are coming in so fast and the way you have them at the bottom kind of hypes me up. You know, as you're making a point and you see someone getting excited about it, it's so cool. I like how you guys bring them up. I mean, the fact you get this many cool guests and the fact that so many people in the comments could and should and probably will be guests, unreal. So this is awesome.
So if you do not know Chris, we have passed the 1,500 comment mark. We broke a record tonight in comments. So this is massive for us. And I do want to, as I always do this, and I look at the camera so I can get like deep inside your soul. But I want to say thank you, and we truly do love you. Like, we have built this for all of you. Literally, the entire show started because of our homies, and we consider all of the people that are involved our homies, right? Because it is a network, and I say this at the end of every show before we say goodbye, and of course, I'll let Katie and Leslie say something before, but take advantage of you being here. You have our guests that are with us, you also have us, and you also have the people that are in the comments. This is, again, a large network that we can all take advantage of and find a way to succeed through. So I will leave it to Katie and Leslie before we go, and again, if you decide to join us, all 3 of you, the link I will put in our private chat here in this specific stream. We would love to have you. If not, we completely understand. You know, there's things to do. So I'll leave it to you two.
Leslie, Katie, what would you like to tell us about Whiskey Wednesday? What can we do to improve?
I mean, I thought the engagement was like popping off. Like, I've never seen I've done a lot of lives and I've never seen a chat like this one. So you're obviously connecting with your audience, with our community in like a very real and important way. And like, community is what it's all about. So no notes. I did think that I found Karen very abrasive.
There was a little.
It's like 15 years of trauma. It's like the 100,000 cold calls I've made. I'm like, I don't know, Karen, whatever you need. But you know, Katie's serious when he doesn't raise his voice. He just gets calmer.
That was so awesome.
So no notes. Honestly, this is incredible. Thank you for having me. And thank you to everybody that gave us your time tonight. Like, so deeply appreciate you showing up for this conversation.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Leslie. Katie, last thoughts?
Hey, I'll just say it simply, y'all. Live, love, sell with intention. Appreciate all y'all. Have a great night.
Cheers. Cheers to that. Thank you all so much. And with that, we do end with our video. So I'm going to go ahead and play it now. But this shit has literally been bananas. So thank you so much for being here.
Or as we say,